solve each inequality and graph the solution set. The first step in solving an inequality is we need to set our inequality equal to 0 on one side, and on the other side we need to have a single fraction. So I'm going to subtract 1 from both sides, and I get 3t plus 4 divided by t minus 2 minus 1 is less than or equal to 0. Now I need to write this as a single fraction. So I write 3t plus 4 divided by t minus 2 minus 1 over 1, and I need to find a common denominator. So the common denominator would be t minus 2. So the first fraction, I don't have to do anything, so it's 3t plus 4. With the second fraction, to get from 1 to t minus 2, which is our common denominator, I have to multiply that by t minus 2. So I need to multiply the top and bottom by the common denominator. When I distribute this negative 1, I end up with negative t plus 2. Now when I add my fractions, I get 3t minus t, that's 2t, 4 plus 2, that's equal to 6, and then I get t minus 2. So I end up with the fraction 2t plus 6 over t minus 2 less than or equal to 0. So I have a single fraction on the the left-hand side, and I have a 0 on the other side. Now to determine the endpoints on our interval, we set the numerator equal to 0 and solve for the variable, and we set the denominator equal to 0 and solve for the variable. So we get 2t plus 6 is equal to 0. So subtract 6 from both sides. We get 2t is equal to negative 6. Divide by 2, and we get t is equal to negative 3. And then we get t minus 2 is equal to 0. We add 2 to both sides, and we get t is equal to 2. So these are our endpoints on our interval. So we have a negative 3, and then we have the positive 2. So we have interval A, interval B, and interval C. So I need to pick a test point from interval A. So I'm going to choose the point negative 4. So any number less than negative 3. And I'm going to substitute this test point into my equation here, or my fraction inequality. So I'm going to go 2 times negative 4 plus 6 over negative 4 minus 2. So I get negative 8 plus 6. That gives me a negative 2 over negative 6 less than or equal to 0. So if I take this, I get a negative divided by a negative. I'm going to get a positive 1/3, and a positive 1/3 is not less than or equal to 0. So for this reason, we can't use any point in the interval A. So now let's pick a test point for interval B. I'm going to use the test point 0. So 2 times 0 plus 6 divided by 0 minus 2, is that less than or equal to 0? So we have 6 divided by negative 2, is that less than or equal to 0? So negative 3 is less than or equal to 0, so we can include all the points from interval B. And then a test point from interval C, I'm going to use the test point 3. So 2 times 3 plus 6 divided by 3 minus 2, does that equal to, or is that less than or equal to 0? So 2 times 3 is 6. 6 plus 6 is 12. Divided by 1, that's not less than or equal to 0. So we can't include any point on interval C. So now the next thing we need to do is we need to look at our inequality symbol. So recall that when we have a less than or equal or a greater than or equal, we can use brackets because the endpoints are included. But that's not true when we have a rational inequality. Recall that a rational number is any number that's written in the form of A over B, but there is a restriction that B cannot equal to 0. If our denominator is equal to 0, we have an undefined fraction. So for that reason, we have to have a restriction that our denominator cannot equal to 0. So if we include the endpoint, because we have this equal sign, that means the endpoint is included. We would put 2 minus 2, that would give us 0, and our whole fraction will be undefined. So for that reason, we have to exclude the 2 as our endpoint. The 3 or the negative 3 we can include. There's no restrictions on the numerator, but the 2 we have to do that restriction. So then our answer is bracket negative 3 comma 2, and then a parenthesis, which means that the endpoint 2 is not included. So everything in between, but not including 2. And this is our solution set.